Hi, my name is Peter Beck. I'm Swiss and the author of the Tom Winter thrillers. I hope you're safely snuggled up somewhere comfortable, ideally with a pile of good books nearby. The Swiss Embassy in London asked me to present my thriller Damnation in a digital book clubs, and I'm happy to help in these difficult times. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I don't have to stock shelves somewhere. Some of my projects have to be postponed, so I'll have time to do these kind of things. These times might even be an opportunity, being at home gives us time to read a bit more and escaping into other worlds in our fantasy. The idea of the digital book club is that we read together and discuss the book with fellow readers. I, as an author, I try to facilitate, give you questions, answer questions, discuss with you some of the thoughts in the book. The plan is to do a couple of videos along the way to encourage you to have talking points together. I'm going to talk about the book, but I also talk a little bit about the experience of being an author. How is it to deal with the publishers, the readers, the social media and stuff like that. Today is just a kickoff. I'll try to get you started. So here's the book called Damnation. By the way, I have no say in the title. The last word is always with the publisher. So Damnation is easy reading. It's for the top, for the balcony, for the beach, when you can go again. It has short chapters, cliffhangers. I always think people should have bloody fingernails at the end of the book. There are fights, there's some action, as you would expect from a thriller, but there's nothing gory or so in it. Best is I read the blurb, then you know what's all about it. A helicopter explodes in the Swiss Alps. A Swiss bank loses a major client and an employee in the blast. Tom Winter, the bank's head of security, is the only one who can find out the truth behind the crash, because he doesn't really believe it was an accident. It was murder. With the NSA hot on his heels, Winter must follow the money from Bern to Cairo, Bergen, then on to Boston before the bad guys catch up. The clock is ticking. That's what it says on the back. So it's, as you see, it's an international thriller. There are scenes in Egypt, Norway, America, and Switzerland. Obviously, the Alps play some role. And you might have noticed the hero is not a policeman or a detective. He's head of security of a Swiss private bank. That gives me a lot of freedom. I can send him all over the world. He doesn't have to follow procedures that closely. And in the banking world, there are good baddies around. Let's put it this way. So what do other people think about Damnation? I read you two reviews. Mystery people, for example, say Damnation travels along with an enormous pace, reads like a James Bond film, and is just as entertaining. So, and what makes me blush is the endorsement of Mark Jimenez, the author of The Color of Law. He says, a terrific thriller, smart and savvy. I had to force myself to stop reading it each night. So that's what other people say about Damnation. It came out in 2018, first as a hardback and then as a paperback. It's published by Point Blank, an imprint of One World, famous publishing house in London. They won the Man Booker Prize a couple of times. It's available in all the formats. You can download the ebook in all the regular formats right now if you want to get started. There's also an audiobook. You can download that too if you like to listen it on your stereo or in your car. That was, by the way, when I got the DVD, I put it in the car driving along, and I was listening to my own writing, and that was kind of really, really surreal. So it's available in your preferred format. My preferred format is the paperback. It's cheap, you can smell it, you can go through the book. So I that's my preferred one, but it's obviously up to you where you get it. I recommend you try to get it at your local bookshop to support them in especially today. So who's the guy behind the books? You probably figured out that I'm Swiss and my mother tongue is German. I wrote the original in German. It's called Söldner des Geldes. It was published by Emmons in Cologne. So, but don't worry, I didn't translate it by myself. It was done by Jamie Bullock, one of the best translators in the trade. Maybe later we can talk a bit about what it means to transfer from one language, from one culture into the other. Just one example, when I read the proof of Damnation, I noticed that the publisher toned down all the sex scenes. So different cultures, different styles. So I stand in front of my bookshelf because I believe it tells a lot about me. Here on my right side you see books about psychology. I studied social psychology, and I'm earning my money by helping companies to improve their corporate culture. I strongly believe that if you have a good culture, people work well and productively at the same time. Behind me you see all my travel books. I love to travel. It inspired me also for the books. All the scenes in Damnation I experienced firsthand. Down here there are some sports books. I love to be outside running whenever I can. What you don't see are all my piles of crime fiction thrillers. I'd say I'm a junkie in this regard. The last 35 years I read all the usual suspects, be it Grisham, Lee Child, Michael Connelly, Stuart McBride, Tana French, Mark Jimenez, Heron, Kerm, Ian Rankin, Nesbo, Stieg Larsson. So I read them all. One question I get a lot is, which is your favorite? It's a difficult question, but if I had to pick one, I would say it's Le Carré. His smile is just one of the best hero I can imagine. So if you want to know more, go to my webpage. It's www.peter-beck.net/English. There you find more reviews all about the book, trailers, and my social media links as well. So if you want to drop me a line, ask me a question, I'm on Facebook, Insta and Twitter, and it would be great if you could give me a like here and there. Okay, I hope I brightened up your day a bit. To get the discussion started, I have 3 questions for you. Number 1. Tom Winter is head of security of a Swiss private bank. So the question is, in what way does that role differ from other heroes? And maybe in a more general way, what makes a good hero? Question number 2. The thriller is set in Egypt, Norway, Switzerland, the US. And the question here is, how does the setting contribute to the thrill? And the last one is a short one. What do you think about the first sentence of Damnation? Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoy the read. Stay healthy. All the best from Switzerland.